Jason and Emily looked like any other young couple in love until the day police surrounded their motel and arrested them on the spot, uncovering a year-long trail of robberies, a mysterious death, and a twisted secret life that shocked the entire country. They seemed like the perfect couple on social media, smiling in every photo, arms wrapped around each other at sunset, traveling across states in their old blue SUV. Jason and Emily, both 27, had been together for 3 years and were known among their friends as inseparable. But behind the filtered pictures and couple goals, hashtags was a secret so dark, it left a trail of unanswered questions in one quiet town in complete shock. It all started in the summer of 2023, when a string of home invasions rocked small communities in the Midwest. The break-ins weren't random. The thieves targeted remote homes, taking only cash, rare collectibles, and small electronic items that wouldn't be traced. There were no signs of forced entry, no fingerprints, no security footage. Police were baffled. Locals whispered about a professional crew or even an inside job. But there were no suspects, no patterns, just quiet disappearances and a growing fear. Things took a turn when one house in Nebraska didn't follow the usual pattern. The homeowner, an elderly man named Walter Griggs, was found dead in his living room. There were no signs of struggle, no weapon, just an empty safe and a hot-packed suitcase beside his recliner. Investigators initially thought it was a heart attack, until the autopsy revealed a sedative in his system, one not available to the public. Walter's death changed everything. The case went from robbery to homicide, and law enforcement across state lines were finally comparing notes. What they found was chilling. Every house hit over the past year had one thing in common: a recent Craigslist ad, furniture, antiques, even old coin collections. The connection! Jason and Emily. Emily had used a series of fake names to respond to the ads. Jason would follow up with a visit, pretending to be interested in buying the item. A few days later, the house would be robbed. They had been using burner phones, fake profiles, even changing license plates. It was meticulous, clever, and investigators tracked the sedative back to a veterinary clinic in Colorado where Emily had briefly worked as a receptionist. It wasn't much, but it was enough to reopen her background. Her resume was fake. The references didn't exist. Once police had her real information, they found an old theft charge in Arizona sealed, but still on file. They started watching them closely. The couple was staying at a motel just outside Kansas City, keeping a low profile. Police didn't move in right away. They waited, watching their routines, hoping for something solid. It came sooner than expected. One morning, Jason was seen carrying a black duffel bag out to their SUV. He dumped it into the trunk and drove off alone. Officers followed at a distance. About 10 miles down the road, he pulled into a self-storage facility. He keyed in a code, opened Unit 46, and stepped inside. That's when they moved. When they opened the bag, they found tens of thousands in cash, several small firearms, and a few notebooks. The notebooks were what changed the case. Inside were addresses, notes about homeowners, alarm code, and disturbing details to what time people left for work, whether they had pets, what valuables were inside. The couple had been planning everything down to the minute. Back at the motel, Emily was already packing when police arrived. She didn't resist. Neither did Jason. The couple was arrested on the spot, just hours away from disappearing for good. They had passports, plane tickets to Mexico, and enough money to vanish. But they didn't get the chance. What shocked investigators most was not just the planning, but the calmness. There were no signs of remorse, no fear, just silence. The trial uncovered even more. The couple had been involved in over 30 break-ins across 6 states. Walter's death was the only fatality, but prosecutors argued it was never a robbery gone wrong. It was cold, calculated, and planned. Jason and Emily were sentenced to life without parole. No emotion, no statement. The courtroom was silent as they were led away, handcuffed and expressionless. The perfect couple, once idolized online, now infamous as one of the most quietly dangerous duos in recent crime history. The story made headlines for weeks. People couldn't understand how two young lovers could transform into something so dark. But maybe that was the most chilling part, how easy it is to hide behind a smile.